a news program from a Native perspective. Whether it's a flagpole raising or whether it's an elders conference, if it's important to the people, and I make a story out of it, this is the most exciting, wonderful, fun time of my life. Hello and welcome to Heartbeat Alaska. I'm Jeanie Greene.
There's a heartbeat louder than thunder. Revolution is in the air. There's a heartbeat deep inside our mother. Are you too cool to care?
Hello everyone and welcome to Heartbeat Alaska, Native News, Native Information and Native Issues. I'm Jeanie Greene. Thank you so very much for joining us. We have a special treat for you. For the next 3 weeks, we bring you segments of a new series we've developed called This Generation. We take a look at Native youth as they come of age in rural Alaska. And this week, Bethany Stanley brings you Selawik, Alaska. I'll be back with This Generation right after this.
Heartbeat Alaska is brought to you in part by Bristol Environmental and Engineering Services, serving Alaska since 1994, a subsidiary of Bristol Bay Native Corporation.
This program sponsored in part by Phillips Alaska. Dreamers who make it happen.
I like to dream.
The gift of past experiences handed down. There are no greater lessons.
Welcome back. This Generation is a program about Native youth and for Native youth. Bethany Stanley, our hostess of this program, takes us to Selawik, Alaska.
Welcome to This Generation. I'm Bethany Stanley. All across rural Alaska, you will find some of the most beautiful scenery, some of the most beautiful cultures, and some of the most beautiful people. But within these communities, there's a battle being waged against drugs, alcohol, and boredom. Come with us as we take you to one of these magical places where the kids of rural Alaska are taking control of their lives and winning the war with a little help from a program aimed at success. It means more than one river. In the Inupiat way, it means a great deal more. It is a way of life, a sense of pride that radiates from the people who live and breathe its air. It is a place where God rests his head at the end of the day. It holds a certain charm, an indescribable beauty that can only be found here, in the eyes of the Inupiat people. It is Selawik. Located about 70 miles southeast of Kotzebue, this second-class city sits at the mouth of the Selawik River, where it empties into the Selawik Lake. Surrounded by a maze of waterways, freight and fuel are commonly shipped upriver from Kotzebue or brought in by air. The people of this region subsist mainly on moose, caribou, waterfowl, upland game birds, and berries. Occasionally, seal and beluga whale supplement their diet. The village is divided into 3 parts, which are linked together by bridges that span the Selawik River. And the streets? Well, the streets are actually a series of boardwalks that weave throughout the village. At first glance, it appears to be an active little village where the whole community is busy working. But it hasn't always been this way. Like many villages across the state, Selawik has very few employment opportunities available, and what jobs there are in town have already been filled.
Biggest challenge, I think, to all of the programs in the villages is a predictable one, which is that there are very few employment opportunities immediately available for young people, as distinct, say, from a city where there are a fair number of employment opportunities.
In a community of almost 800 people, many are left without any source of income, and that has led to many other problems.
Just like any other village, we got problems, we got bad boys, we got alcohol, we got drugs, and just another town, just another place on the map. With a lot of wood, boardwalks. We got a lot of good people, a lot of bad people.
A lot of them are drinking. The young youth, especially the men, you know, from the late teens into their 30s are drinking a lot. The unemployment rate, I understand, for young men in the region here is like 80% unemployment, 85% unemployment.
There's a lot of vandalism, there's a lot of curfew violation, and there's a lot of drinking and drugging with the kids. And when we don't recognize these stuff for the kids, then we know from the parent side, you know, it's always started from the home, and then it will carry on to the school and or to the public, and we don't need that.
And although the sale or importation of alcohol is banned in Selawik, it still manages to find its way into the village and into the hands of the kids. It is a problem that has existed for years, and the people of this village know its ramifications well. So why do the kids of Selawik experiment with drugs and alcohol?
It gets really boring around here, it gets pretty quiet. Nighttime is like the best night to be out, but can't be out no more. A lot more things happen during the nighttime than daytime around here.
There's not enough things to do here in Selawik for the youth, because when you're hanging out with your friends and everything, and we ask them what's up, you know, and there's nothing up. Nothing to do. There aren't many things to do around here. That's why there's so many teens.
Smoking weed and drinking, and I don't know, never nothing to do, hustle and get wrecked.
The biggest challenge is to keep the children off of substance abuse, whether that be drugs or alcohol or drinking. That's the thing that tears them down. And that's what's tearing families down in rural Alaska.
Young people everywhere are challenged by the process of adolescence and growth and preparation for adult life and adult responsibilities. The particular challenges of village kids in Alaska are a special version of the challenges that all the young people face. The temptations and intrigues of substance abuse, the challenge of understanding why to stay in school and continue their education, the ability to think long-term about their lives rather than sort of immediate gratification. And I think that village kids have a particular version of all of those things. They share that with a lot of the young people from the South Bronx, for example.
And like in the South Bronx, many of these kids are losing sight of their futures and are dropping out of school.
I dropped out, not to help out my family, help out, mostly just help make my family live.
Got into trouble with a few other people here and couldn't go to school because of that, and so I quit. And I didn't go back because of the drugs and stuff I got into.
In the whole region, we've got over a 50% dropout rate in the Northwest Arctic Borough, from kids 8th grade through high school. In villages like Selawik and other villages like this, the dropout rate can even climb to 70%.
We do have increased number of dropout rate now, and we try to get them out of that situation by employing them or putting them to work, so they could, when they go in the outside world, they could have a stepping stone and they can deal with that.
Through this grant, the kids of Selawik are receiving valuable work experience that will help prepare them for the workforce.
It's 81 3/4, so you want at least 1 inch gap on top here.
Stay tuned for more of this generation.
Bye, Dad.
Bye, Junior.
From generation to generation, the passing down of tradition has been the native way.
You never eat snow because it'll get you tired.
Survival in the Alaska wilderness depends on one's knowledge of ancient native secrets.
Nowadays we carry this. Always carry it next to your body. It's water.
Purity guaranteed. Aquafina.
Hey, I heard about some kids who are gonna get some beer. Wanna go? Why?
Because it's like cool.
Why is it cool?
You know, like to get wasted, I guess.
Why would I want to get wasted?
I heard about some older kids doing it.
So why should I do it? If someone asks you to drink, maybe there's something you should ask them. Why?
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 I guess I don't know.
Because there's no good reason to drink.
I am here outside of our pastor cabin with my students that are currently working for the program. I have 4 full-time students that work 7 hours a day and 5 4-hour ones. The ages are from 14 to 21. Right now, nobody does this. Hauling trash for the church, and we got this opportunity to clean up outside today with the youth. They're gonna haul all the drums and all the unwanted wood that need to go to the dumps, and we have other projects in town that we need to look to. We're doing boardwalk repair, or helping elders throw their trash that don't have transportation for their trash. And I have 3 girls that work at our city office that is low funded right now, and they're working filing papers, typing, faxing for our city office. That is very good for them, because this is the first time I have all these students, first time employed, first time they're on a job with pay, and they're staying out of trouble, getting up 9 o'clock in the morning and realizing that they could do something better with their life.
Since I've been working, it's been a big change. It's something to do. Like Bessie said, we wouldn't be doing anything if it wasn't for this job. Knowing it's only in the summertime, but it could give a big experience of if we get older to get our diploma.
Learn how to tear up floors, fix on sidewalks, work with tools, communicate better with people.
Right there I'm working for YOG, something like Manila. It's like labor, help out. Most like just work around town, work on the boardwalks. And now we're trying to fix this building up, piece by piece.
I don't know, all kinds of stuff, working on boardwalks and helping everything out, pushing stuff into the stores and stuff.
People like us, we don't stick together like as much as like this. You know, we see each other on the road, but it's always just like a big hi, hello, and everybody liked this job because we all work together, and so it just makes us easier to get along. I do all sorts of things here. I answer phones, make copies, type things up, post things. Some days I work in the safe.
Susan Clark works for the Manilik Manpower Program sponsored by the Manilik Corporation out of Kotzebue. Like the Youth Opportunity Program, Manilik is investing time and money into the youth of Selawik and Kotzebue to ensure a hopeful future for the people of this region.
If Manilik wasn't working with this program here in Selawik, then there wouldn't be anything for teens to do around.
With the Manilik, they did a good part, and they do a real big part with our community of hiring the kids. And the Youth Opportunity Coordinator here in Selawik has done a big part also in teaching our kids, you know, how work begins and how to keep a job. And with our part as supervisors, we try to teach them, you know, what goes on within the work. And we've had a couple that are, you know, that quit on us. But we try to pull them back, you know, we try to get them off the street and try to make them work, or give them work, something to do during the summer hours.
Well, first of all, we have to set up an antenna, a wireless antenna that sees our ground station here in the village. And then we go into the people's personal computer and set up some software and get them connected to the internet. It's pretty simple. Currently, we have five people, and we have a couple more people that are getting ready to do it.
Brandon Sarto works for the Manilik Corporation as well. He travels to different villages to help others get connected to the internet. While in the villages, Brandon recruits young people to work for a newly formed company called Inutech.
We have a pretty young crew here, and we're trying to incorporate a lot more people around the villages to work for us.
When I first started, I worked at city office, learning how to do files, and then I moved to the clinic, and I'm starting to learn how to do WIC and teaching. They're teaching me like that if I were to get a job about that, it's gonna be easy because I'm learning how to do it now. We're glad for this job here because a lot of young people like us do drugs, and this job really stops us from, and it helps our family from worrying about us, and day by day it's getting easier to get up early in the morning, and that leads to getting up early for school, getting ready for school.
Learning you need a job to get around, you need the money to live. Definitely the money, that's about it.
Most I've talked with, they are enjoying, and most of them need the money for their summer clothes, for their school, and for the help for their family. And the ones that are really putting effort to it are the ones that are being role models for the other kids. So in turn, they're helping themselves work with them. So it's been good. I've seen a couple of really good kids that are, gonna be leaders in the long run.
Hi, I'm Mark from Scan Home, and we are proud to sponsor Heartbeat Alaska.
Scan Home, serving all of Alaska's home and office furnishing needs. Thank you, Scan Home, for making Heartbeat Alaska possible.
Support for this program provided by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Alaska. We've been here since before Alaska was a state, and we'll be here when you need us. We're here. We're with you. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Alaska.
Heartbeat Alaska is sponsored in part by Chugach Alaska Corporation.
Just like any teenager that's even being raised down in the lower 48 or in Anchorage, you know, it's hard to keep them focused on traditions.
But not this particular tradition.
If you have any scratches on it, this is when it'll show up.
These kids were very focused on Norma Ballot as she demonstrated her carving skills. Norma has been carving ivory for over 10 years and is a bilingual teacher and art teacher at the school.
As you saw for yourself, when they were watching the carver and they were seeing Norma carving, and we were looking at the pieces of ivory fossil that's basically in their backyard. And when I told them, do you know that these pieces of fossils, once they get carved, you could sell them and you could really make some, you could have an income with that. And their eyes lit up and said, really? We could sell this? Yes, and it's right in your backyard.
And that's where I like to see programs that infuse local culture and heritage into that, because there's a lot of value. Kids can pretty much earn a living still subsistence-wise. You can live fairly well doing some part-time work and then still hunting and gathering, fishing and hunting, and you can live. And some of them prefer that. That's an alternative lifestyle, and some prefer that. So we need to support all these avenues for children to adulthood.
Many different avenues are being offered to these kids through the Youth Opportunity Program. Avenues such as Job Corps, alternative schools, colleges, Big Brothers Big Sisters, and the Military Youth Academy, who happen to be in Selawik to speak to some of the kids who are interested in their program.
And the focus is to get them out of what they've been doing. For most of them, it's drugs and alcohol. We average 20 every cycle. These 20 Native students, they can see they're going to get something big out of it. They're going to get the diploma out of it. They're going to finish their secondary education. And they're also going to see the advantage if they're going into the military, or if they basically know that if they want to continue on, they need that diploma or GED. They need it to go into some other field. So, and they would remind themselves, nobody reminds them. Every morning they wake up and say, why am I here? And they answer their own question. But if they went in for a parent, there's no parent there to answer that question.
The question these kids are asking and answering is not why, but what they will be doing with their lives.
I don't need to sell homemade alcohol, or, you know, finally got a legal job, helping my sister pay some bills, and because of this job, I'm getting help to go to training to ATC. That's a major big help right there, straight up.
I like to go to ATC, Alaska Technical Center. I want to be an electrician. That's what I want to be.
If I graduate, probably go down to ATC and probably training down there and go to Red Dog.
My future plans is just to go back to school this coming couple weeks and graduate, go to college.
I'm gonna try and go back to school or try and get my GED and go to training. I'd really like to go to maybe UAF or training or whatever, because my sister went there and she talked to me about it and it sounded like it would be a good thing for me.
I want to get to the point where I sign up an application and they'll want me instead of keep going over there and bug them. Get out of this struggle. All I want to do is just
get a job, get over through school, and just get a job, start a career or something. Instead of just stay around here and just be a pothead or a drunk or something like that. I ain't gonna be like that. Staying out of trouble. Yep, I ain't going to jail. Better knock on wood.
You can be successful in school. Stay in, work hard. It's not that bad. And you can get a good education right here in your village.
If it's too hard to do, well, too bad. Live off your parents. Live with your mom and dad the rest of your life. Let them support you. Who's gonna put food on the table? Who's gonna buy you your next pair of shoes? You gonna let your mom and dad buy you? Hell, not me. Thanks for this program, man. This program's pretty cool. Well, kids in the future will have like something to do and money in their pocket. Kids gotta do, put your mind into it. Like he said, you can do whatever you want to do. Just gotta put your mind up to it. Get up and get a job, get an education. Ain't got nothing up here, go out and see the world. A lot of things you could be out there. There's some good money out there too.
Thanks to the Youth Opportunity Program and corporations like Manilik, the kids of rural Alaska have a fighting chance to succeed in the uncertain future of the 21st century.
Just another native going one day at a time, trying to live. Just taking one day at a time, going by pretty smooth.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us for Heartbeat Alaska and This Generation. For the next few programs, we'll be taking you to rural Alaska and visit villages through the eyes of our youth. God bless every single one of you, and we'll see you next week right here.